Hi children, welcome to the chemistry class. So we were in the topic of pure substances and mixtures. So we have discussed about the mixed substance, what is a substance, what a pure substance and what is a mixture, types of mixtures and how the mixtures are to be separated. And methods of separating techniques. Now we are going to discuss about the filtration. So filtration, it is more usual to separate insoluble solids from liquids by filtration. So insoluble solids from the liquids. So it is usually used to separate insoluble solids from liquids by a method filtration. So in this method, a piece of paper, if you observe in the picture, you can see a piece of paper, that is filter paper, is folded and made it into a cone shape, and whose sides have to be wetted to hold the paper in position. The mixture is poured into filter paper. The level of the being mixture not more than about 2/3 of the filter paper. So the level of the mixture is not more than the 2/3 of the filter paper. The insoluble solid remaining in the filter paper is called residue. The clear liquid which comes through the filter paper is the filtrate. The filter paper is a kind of sieve. The liquid particles are so small and they can pass through the holes of filter paper, that paper fibers. The solid particles are too bigger and they are trapped on the filter paper. So heterogeneous mixtures composed of solids and liquids are easily separated by filtration. So it uses a porous barrier to separate solid from liquid. And next we have evaporation. Separate the substance that dissolve in water. Separate the substances that dissolve in water is evaporation. That is changing of liquid into its gaseous form is termed evaporation. Changing of liquid into gaseous form is termed evaporation. In this method, the liquid component of solution evaporates and escapes, leaving the solid component behind. And evaporation is commonly used in extracting common salt from seawater. So as we have discussed, a liquid such as water is made up of molecules. A liquid such as water is made up of molecules which are held together by a force of attraction. So since these forces of attraction are not strong as those in solids, so liquids force of attraction, we know that in the liquids the molecules are arranged scatteredly. The force of attraction is very weak. Water molecules are free to slide and bump past one another. And interesting about the water, that is liquid molecules, as they move at different speeds. Molecules that they move at different speeds. Some molecules move faster than others. When fast moving molecules manages to reach the surface of water, it would break away from the force of attraction between water molecules. If molecules of water escaped in this way, the water will dry out. And what happens during the evaporation? When it is heated, the solid particles will remain. The solution is heated to boiling point to evaporate the liquid, and solid particles will remain when the liquid evaporates. The process of evaporation can be made faster by heating liquid. Heating a substance makes its molecules move faster. If water is in a beaker is heated, the water molecule at the bottom of the beaker will start moving faster and faster. Eventually these molecules will start moving so fast and the force of attraction would not be able to bind them together when you heat the water. And what happens? They will change into vapor. They will change into vapor, that is steam. The steam forms bubbles and which rises to the surface of water and escape into the air. This process is called boiling. And solid particles, impurities, do not change to vapor as easily as water. Why? Because the force of attraction between the solid particles are stronger and left in the container. And they are left in the container. See, you can see in this picture. Next, evaporation is great for separating a mixture of solutions of soluble, solid and solvent. The process involves heating the solution until the solvent evaporates, that is, turns into gas. Evaporation is a technique used to separate out homogeneous mixture where there is one or more dissolved solids. This method derives of the liquid components from the solid components. In most of the world, table salt is obtained from evaporation of seawater. The heat for the process comes from sun. Next is distillation. So distillation, in the previous section we learned that salt can be obtained from seawater. What if we want to obtain pure water? Suppose seawater, it is composed of salt, right? So in the evaporation technique, from the water we can extract the salt. But if we want only the pure water, then what happens? Without salt and without any impurities. Without salt and without any impurities, what should be done? So in this case, we have a process called distillation. In this process, impure water is taken into a flask and heated. The water molecules at the bottom of the flask change into steam. The water molecules at the bottom of the flask change into steam, form bubbles and escapes the liquids. The steam is made to pass through a cold glass tube that is called condenser. As the steam passes through the cold glass tube, the molecules slow down. On cooling of vapor substance, make the molecules to move slower. As the molecules slow down, the force of attraction between them closer to one another and they again form a liquid water. This process is also called condensation. The condensate that is collected is called distillate. Distillation is an effective method to separate mixtures comprised of two or more pure liquids. And in the distillation purification process, where the components of liquid mixture are vaporized and then condensed and isolated. In simple distillation, a mixture is heated and most volatile component comprises at lowest temperature. The vapor passes through a cold tube when it condenses back in its liquid state. So condensation can be defined as a process by which gas changes into liquid. So condensation can be defined as a process by which gas changes into liquid. And distillation can be defined as a process of boiling liquid, condensing the vapor and collecting the condensing liquid. The water obtained through the distillation is free from solid impurities and can be collected in another container. The process of distillation is completed. And this is about the distillation process. See the distillation. Homogeneous mixture can be separated by distillation. Is based on difference in the boiling point of substance involved. See pure water. So salty water, that is impure water which is settled on when we heat. That pure water is obtained in the form of vapor, and that will be passed into the condenser and that will be collected. So these are the methods: sieving, filtration, evaporation, condensation, chromatography and distillation. So these are the process of separation techniques. So sieving is used to separate large particles from the smaller particles, and filtration can separate solids that are insoluble from liquid. Evaporation can separate solids that are soluble from a liquid. Condensing is when water vapor changes into liquid water. And chromatography can separate different color dyes, and distillation can separate a solvent from solution. So these are the separation methods for pure substances. And now we have completed the second chapter. Okay children, bye. Have a good day.